SummerSlam. Damn, what a show. There was some expectation heading into it because Triple H's first show technically is going to want to do something. And looking back, I'd say he did a good job. It was a good first impression, although for the most part, I assume this is Vince McMahon show, because they want to wrap up his storylines, this and that. That said, you could kind of feel some stuff that Triple H was doing. It kind of makes you optimistic heading into the next pay-per-view and heading into the draft and all that. His vision of WWE seems much more open to stuff. The commentary in particular was much better. It was much more loose, which is always enjoyable. I actually enjoyed Michael Cole here. It's nice to see him free, talking about whatever he wants and whatnot. Alright, so with that said, let's get into it. The first match was for the Raw Women's Championship. Bianca Belair defending the gold against Becky Lynch. Okay, this one a WrestleMania. I expected that because the situation was way different. But that said, I started really liking it as time went on. Becky was working on Bianca's arm, and then from out of nowhere, they have this non-stop battle where they're trading moves, this and that. And even though it seemed like Becky's arm was hurting, they pulled out something special. There was zero doubt in my mind that Bianca was winning, but it was the journey that mattered. It was way better than what I expected. I thought this was going to be a short match where Bianca would drop her within a minute and retain the title. But as good as the match was, the post-match was better. And that's saying something because Becky and Bianca really had a great match. Becky shook Bianca's hand. I thought she's going to turn heel, but she didn't. So I guess we're finally away from heel Becky. She's celebrating when Bayley makes her return. The last time we saw Bayley, she was feuding with Bianca. The last time a full crowd saw her, I don't even remember. February 2020? But yeah, Bayley's back. I thought it was cool. It was nice. It's going to give some depth to the Raw Women's roster, which already has enough depth, but hey, I ain't complaining. Then Dakota Kai, the Dakota Kai who was released, she was gone, she was without a contract, returns. Did I have any idea she was actually going to return to WWE? Not really. I thought she was leaning towards AEW or something. But she's here. And to top it all off, Io Shirai was on the main roster. And at this point, I was like, damn, Triple H, your desk's still empty. First match on the SummerSlam and he's pulling this stuff. It opens up a lot of possibilities for the Raw Women's division. And I want to see how it is with Triple H running the show, because it's clear that he's hungry. He wants to show that he means business. The next match was between Logan Paul and The Miz. When I tell you that this match had no right being as good as it was, I mean it. Logan Paul coming into this had me groaning. And it's like he got into my mind and was desperate to prove me wrong. He had the timing right. He knew when to hit a move. Hell, when he went for the flip, I was like this. And he still continues. All's well, and if you had no idea, you'd think he was a wrestler. Standing moonsault, and he even dived through the announce table. He was really desperate to put on a good match, and he did. Hell, I'd say this was great, and it was one of the biggest surprises of the night. Logan doesn't really need to do this, but he did, and respect. A damn YouTuber having a good match. One-on-one match. It's not like it was a tag match where they had their moments, this and that. It's actually a singles match where he did well. It's as simple as that. Miz made him look good throughout the match, and of course he took the L. Respect to him too. But yeah, surprising match. It's one of the more surprising matches of the show, and if it wasn't for the main event, I'd say this is my pick for most surprising match. The next match was for the United States Championship. Bobby Lashley defends the gold against Theory. Okay, this one wasn't as good as Money in the Bank. It just sort of happened, and all I seem to remember is Theory taking a beating. He got an offense, of course, but the whole thing from memory was that. It was literally Bobby Lashley who was dominant. It wasn't weak. It was just there and did his job in showing that Lashley's a dominant champion. For Theory, it's been a week of beatings, but this one made me believe something's happening later that night. Which technically it did. It's nice that Lashley's over. He's been working hard recently, and I never thought I'd see the entire crowd behind him. He simply comes out, looks strong, kicks ass. Like, why wouldn't you like that? If it was another time period, he'd probably be the champion. Roman's champion right now, and that's a different story in itself. The next match was no disqualification. The Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest faced the Mysterios. Similar to the previous match, this one was just there. Not bad. A bit better, of course, than the previous match, but it wasn't must watch. It got better as time went on, but not much to talk about. The no DQ rule wasn't used to its best, I'd say. It's like they remember the match was no DQ near the end, so they brought out the chairs and whatnot. Then suddenly Edge returned as expected, and he had a cool entrance. The thing is, Brood Edge with short hair feels so weird. It just doesn't sound right to me. That said, he came in full of aggression and dropped the Judgment Day before Ray hit the 619 to win it. And when you see these two, SmackDown 6 vibes. Dominic, I forgot he actually exists, but it's about time we see Edge and Finn in a match. The whole Judgment Day thing is it. I don't really care for it at the moment because it doesn't feel like it's going to get any better. Who knows, it might. But I just want to see the matches from. I want to see Edge versus Damian Priest, Edge versus Finn Balor, whatever. I'm just really interested in the matches rather than the story itself because, as I said, I'm not really into the whole Judgment Day thing at the moment. The next match was between Baron Corbin and Pat McAfee. McAfee and Corbin were apparently on the Colts team back in 2009. This was back when McAfee had no idea if they'd keep him. He has one of the most entertaining podcasts. It's just one of the most likable people out there. I go watch his podcast occasionally. He's hilarious. Doesn't matter if he's talking about his one Super Bowl appearance. He makes it interesting. It's such a simple story, but he manages to get 10 minutes out of it. And he's funny on that show, on commentary. I like him. This one felt very similar to WrestleMania. Cole's rooting for Pat, and it seemed like he bit off more than he could chew. He, of course, went all out the way he usually does, and Corbin was being a douche. And it wasn't as good as the Theory match, because that was WrestleMania. Let's face it, everything's going to be different there, right? That said, there is something to enjoy here. Michael Cole on commentary was making references to how things changed after Corey Graves was like, I liked it when you didn't have an opinion. McAfee's out here hitting swanton bombs. He almost had a couple of hiccups. You know, he's teetering on the top rope, but he manages to hold on and do a swanton or something like that. But yeah, decent match. Of course, Corbin loses after he gets Nakamura because he did that on SmackDown a couple of days earlier. But yeah, decent match. Drew McIntyre came out and cut this good promo about how he'll win the titles. He looked so intense, so cool, and I wasn't the only one who thought that. I was like, damn, this guy's probably going to win the titles by the looks of it. The next match is the Unified Tag Team Championships. The Usos defending the gold against the Street Profits. Jeff Jarrett as the special referee. Why? Well, SummerSlam is in Nashville. It does seem random, but it made sense. He did a good job officiating and added some drama to the match. It was heavily implied that Montez Ford was going to turn heel, but he didn't because he was all aggressive. He was all angry with every kick out, cussing out Jarrett and whatnot. But that didn't happen. The action itself was nice, but it wasn't better than Money in the Bank. It's like they reached the fourth gear and the match ended. There was a little bit more there they could have done for it to have been as good as Money in the Bank. Well, it is what it is. That said, when I saw the Street Profits lose, it actually felt kind of sad. It's like, damn, these guys go in, they lose every single match on pay-per-view to the Usos. And if they do split, it's kind of unfortunate, but at the same time, Montez Ford is going to get that big-ass push if that does happen. I think they know what they have in him, and it's probably going to be special. As for the Usos, I don't know where they go from here. It's similar to Roman Reigns, just winning everything, so whoever they face now, they're easily going to beat by the looks of it. Okay, put Kid Rock on the banned list with Fred Durst. Please, 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 please. Like, what the hell's up with these guys in SummerSlam doing some crazy-ass stuff? Rollins ended up giving Riddle a beat down after he was called down, left him even more hurt than he was on Monday. They're obviously doing this to delay the match to the next pay-per-view. It was expected. Following this, Liv Morgan defended the SmackDown Women's Championship against Ronda Rousey. Okay, this was a quick match. I'm glad it was that way because not everything needs to be long. Rousey was clearly the dominant one, and after targeting Morgan's arm, she got her to tap out. But the problem was her shoulders were on the mat, and she lost. Creative. Morgan loses, but the ref doesn't notice, and so she wins. Ronda turns heel because of this. She goes wild, drops Liv, the ref, and it was good. I like that she turned heel because her as a face doesn't work. It's just so awkward. When she comes out all aggressive and angry, yes, it makes sense. It fits her character. When she comes out smiley, cuts this rushed-ass promo where she's talking quick and this and that, it's not good. For her as a heel, better. As for Liv, I don't think she's going to hold that title for any longer. I think Ronda Rousey's going to destroy her and win the title with ease in their next rematch if they even have one. But yeah, Ronda Rousey, heel turn. I like the way they finished this match. They found a good way out. Obviously, Liv Morgan wasn't going to beat Ronda Rousey straight up because she's not on her level in kayfabe. But I like the way that they got out of the situation. Kane sighting. And the main event. Roman Reigns defends the Undisputed Universal Championship against Brock Lesnar in a last man standing match. Okay, so we're here. We're back again with Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Why? Money, I assume. This match has been done for so many times over the years, I've lost count. And there's only one match that I truly, truly enjoyed, and that was the WrestleMania 31 match. This was back in 2015, which was 7 years ago. They've been promoting this one as the last match, and looking at it, this just has to be the last one, right? So Lesnar comes out in this damn tractor, adding to the Farmer Brock personality of his, and then he introduces himself, full of excitement. It was nice. And then he proceeded to jump onto Roman Reigns off the tractor, and I was like, damn, this is gonna be crazy. For good and for bad, you know? Like, I was expecting something to happen regardless. We were gonna have something to talk about, whether the match sucked or the match was good. Also, you guys think that tractor will be sold on WWEshop.com? They have this little brawl, they're in the crowd, punching, power bombs, whatever. But then, when Brock Lesnar brought the tractor back, that's when the match really kicked up a notch. We saw Roman out here hitting Superman punches. Brock freaking flipped the ring over, and this is when it went truly insane. Like, this is a moment I never expected to see, with the ring being flipped sideways. Lesnar's out here dominating. He's whooping his ass. Roman's barely getting up. He dropped Paul Heyman with this F5. The Usos are down. Then Theory comes in with a briefcase, drops everyone, thinking he's going to cash in. Lesnar drops him. It was insanity. And just think about the match now. I really loved it. For Roman Reigns, it was almost impossible to drop this beast. He's hitting him with each title. WWE, Universal. Doesn't matter as long as he knocks him down. I was hoping Lesnar would get up each time, and he did. until Roman decided, you know what, screw this. I'm going to bury him under this rubble. I'm going to sit on top of this rubble to prevent him from getting back up. And that was more than enough to win. Like, damn. It was really exciting. I actually thought at some points maybe Lesnar will win this. But yeah, Roman Reigns retained in the most exciting, most dramatic way. Like, I actually doubted whether or not he would win this because of the way they booked it. Like, I guess they finally surpassed WrestleMania 31. We finally have a match to talk about that involves these two, and it's actually good. Match of the night, no doubt about it from me. Now, by the looks of it, it seems like Brock Lesnar's going away, which is unfortunate. But it was a good way. If this is the way he goes out, it was a great way for him to go out. The match itself, it felt very Attitude Era-esque with the spots, the ridiculousness, the over-the-top stuff. The only thing that was missing was blood, and technically we saw that with Lesnar's back being scratched up. But yeah, match of the night from me. It was a great way to end the show. I was like, oh, hopefully these guys stick the landing because it's been a nice show. And they did. They did more than that. They flipped the damn ring. After that, like, what's there to say? Alright, so that's SummerSlam. I enjoyed the show. It was fun, you know, from the opening match to the main event. There wasn't a terrible match here, but there's some matches that are like, oh, it just happened. Like the no disqualification match and the Theory and Lashley match. But if this is how Triple H's WWE looks, I'm interested. I'm not sure if it's him. Maybe it's Vince's last show. He wanted to go all out. We don't know. One thing that's for certain is that Raw is going to be the start of the new era. I'm looking forward to it. This show is a good sign of what's to come. And I'm even more hyped for the next pay-per-view, which has Roman Reigns and Drew McIntyre. That should be a good match. But yeah, that's SummerSlam. Alright, what'd you guys think of SummerSlam? Please comment down below. And that's the first video. Make sure you hit the 619 on the like button and perhaps the Superman punch on the subscribe button. Peace. I'm out.